Hi guys, hail and merry meet to everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and today we're going to talk about some clarifications for last night's live stream, which were anything but clear. So we're going to talk about this, and I want to do a vlog on it only because I felt it would be easier to explain it in a vlog than it would be to explain it in another live stream. And so we're going to start with the most basic facts. Now, I'm going to state the facts up front. I do not believe in giving unlimited free government subsidies to anybody. I say unlimited meaning someone needs a special program. Here, create another program for them. Someone needs a special service, create another program for them. I do believe, and I'm going to talk about Andrew Yang's basic income as well, because I consider Social Security disability to be as close as we can to Andrew Yang's basic income. When I grew up in a household with a mother that was a socialist Norwegian and a father that was a Republican American. In Norway, the government provides a lot of social services and it's a safety net. Okay? You'd be surprised at the kind of stuff that you can get in Norway for basically for free. But there's a cost. It costs money. It costs taxes. It costs income. Okay, so it's not really free. And it's actually end up paying for taxes and stuff to pay for it. Even though you are getting an income from your job, you're actually spending more in special services to make it all work. Okay. Now, in the United States, of course, we are been raised by tradition that prior to the New Deal from FDR, okay, we were raised to believe that you can come to this country and by your own efforts, you can be successful. Today, if you look at the majority of the situation, the people that are coming over to this country are expecting free handouts from the government to pay for everything from healthcare to Obama phones to free housing and free government entitlements. I hate when I get up in the morning, my ears are always clogged up in the morning. Okay, so we have been told by two different systems, two different approaches to the issue of entitlements. The American traditionalists, like my father would have said to you, entitlements, my ass. Oh, you're going to give you more money, but you're going to take more out of my taxes to give you more money. So you may think you're getting something for free, but in the long run, you're paying for it anyway, which is true. My mother, on the other hand, said, well, yeah, but at the same time, you also are benefiting from the fact that the money is there for right now for your needs. Now, we talk about the whole idea of the government is going to give you everything for free, and you're going to basically not have to pay anything. That doesn't work out that way mathematically. It actually costs the government more money. Another thing, too, is that when the government gets involved, the government fucks it up. And it does. There's no guarantee the government is not going to fuck it up. It just does. Okay? It's the way the system is. It's not perfect. Okay? Last night's conversation stems from the entitlement mentality versus the individual Americans' ability to live as they choose to live. Now, there's nothing wrong with some services. Okay? For example, as one opinion editorial put it about Andrew Yang's basic income system, he said the only way that would work to give it to the 400 million American peoples of $2,000 a month. We're talking about a month now. We're not talking about a year. Okay? $2,000 a month. 400 million people. Okay? That is going to be $8 trillion. But if we get rid of the rest of the entitlements, HUD, food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid, and just did that, then Andrew Yang's basic income would have basically taken care of everything. In other words, everybody in America gets a $2,000 a month check. The whole idea originally of basic income was that if you couldn't find a job, at least you have enough to pay for housing and food. And remember, there wouldn't be no food stamps either. Just like in the UK, under the Workers' Pension Administration, the WPA, they do not have food stamps in the UK. They do not have that. It does not exist in the UK. I don't even know any other country that does have food stamps. I don't even know why we have a separate program from the United States Department of Agriculture just to distribute food items. Okay, but we do, okay? So let's say we get rid of all this. I guess we give everybody $2,000 income. What they do with the money is up to them. How they want to use it, how they want to pay their bills, it's their decision. The reason I don't like the idea of getting more programs in my back pocket is it makes me feel more and more dependent on the system that really doesn't have any empathy for me at all. I believe that when you get a chunk of money, it's your responsibility, wherever you get it from, maybe from a job, working at McDonald's or Walmart or working at Starbucks or whatever, or working at some corporate Fortune 500 company or whatever, that you're taking that money that you get to pay for your expenses. Now, I am legally blind. That is absolutely true. And someone says, well, since you're legally blind, you're entitled. Now, remember a couple of years ago on my channel, Cringe Report used to mock me because of entitlement mentality. Entitlement mentality was that, oh, you're saying that we should give you free money to sit on your fat ass and do nothing but talk to a camera. That's what he said. That's what he said. I don't know why I originally agreed with that assumption, as did many other people. However, the truth was that that's not really how it works, but it seems to be it's the way the system wants to make it work. Okay, if that makes any sense. This month, for example, when I was injured in January, actually December, I ended up going to Patty's house, okay, only because I was not capable of getting up 3 flights of stairs. She said to me, originally in December, she didn't ask for any rent, okay, because I was paying rent to Jimmy. So I paid my rent to Jimmy, but she took all my savings, pretty much, and then some, because she had to pay for moving. But we found out that really she shouldn't have had to move anything. She could have left everything alone. Everything would have still been here. The studio could have been ready to come into, just to turnkey operations, come home, and boom, I'm here. Of course, that's not the way it worked out. So, we ended up basically getting ourselves into a bit of a pickle. And then she says, well, since you can't afford home health care, why don't you move it with me? And then I'll give you health care, and then you just pay me $9.50 a month. I knew I wasn't going to stay there long. I already said to myself, this is not going to be permanent. But I kind of liked it there, but I really kind of wanted to go home, no matter what. But despite all the tarot card readings saying I shouldn't because my apartment's the tower and it's going to basically be best to move away from the tower and move towards a positive future. And that's what I was supposed to be doing. But the truth is I still loved my tower. in tarot. The tower represents things like a crumbling tower, lightning strikes hitting it, and the tower collapsing. Talking about the things of the past. Your past is going to start over with a new one. Same thing with the death card. Same thing with the hanged man. Okay, the death card is a little bit less confusing than the tower. Okay, but no matter what, okay, that idea of everybody saying to me, well, like, you can get out of subsidized housing, you can get a reduced rate, you can get more happiness living in some complex that is controlled by HUD or by a participating housing authority instead of having the freedom of having your own home that you pay for with your cash. I tell you right now that I like about living where I live is that I pay the rent, I pay the bills, I determine how the money is allocated, even though it costs me more in the long run, or in the short run. In the long run, it actually doesn't cost me much more at all, actually. Because I don't have to do paperwork, I don't have to deal with government forms and inspections and all that additional procedures. Rather, I pay a flat amount of money, I live here, and that's it. Okay? My landlord gets his check each month, and my landlord supposedly supposed to fix things. Well, that's another story, but I'll leave that alone. The thing is that last night's conversation was a mess because there was a lot of emotion involved. Ed, for example, really deeply is concerned how Patty had tried to snooker me into a system which I did not belong in. Okay, now because of this, I'm going to have to see if my doctor can help get me out of this situation before it becomes a situation. And I think that's important to keep in mind. That again, as I said, my father was a Republican. My father believed in people, and even the handicapped people could actually find work and successfully create something for themselves. Whereas my mother said, oh, under the Norwegian social net, she'll always be provided for. She always will be a ward of the state. Yada, 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 yada. No, my mother really did believe that. She still does to this day. And it's a sad shame because my father really wanted me to be more successful and doing things on my own. And my mother just basically sees me as another mouth to feed under a system that just really doesn't care. The United States, some people are blaming Trump for this, but actually it's actually a democratic problem trying to deal with a solution that is frustrating. That is that, oh, well, you know, we're going to have this government programs. We're going to have to find a place, feed, clothe, and house all these people who are no longer going to be able to meet the minimum requirement for Medicaid. We're going to have to find a way to deal with all the infirm and the elderly and the disabled under Obamacare. We're going to have to find a way to deal with all those people. But the sad truth is, under the Republican system, as it always had been, is the family was supposed to take care of the needs of those people, not the government. So what happened? What happened was that our system had basically said, now we're going to take the responsibility for the family and give it to the state. But the state doesn't necessarily understand the needs of the people. The state just sees you as a number, and that's all they do. Sure, I know it's easy to say to somebody, hey, disability, we can put you in a sanitarium somewhere and basically lock the door and you'll never see the light of day. And well, theoretically, you'll have 3 squares, a roof, floor, and 4 walls. That's it. So that's all we care about. Don't worry about your medical care. You ain't going to get any. Don't worry about your dental care. You're not going to get any. You're going to end up just sitting in a room somewhere and basically become catatonic out of boredom. I don't want that. Okay? The Native American, the Native Republican American in me screams, fuck that. I'd rather live free than die in captivity. Okay? But that means that there's a cost. If you want to live free, it means that you have to take on more initial understandings and realities of what has to be done. Even if it means that even if you're disabled and you get a flat check each month, that you have to make sure to pay your electric and your phone, and your rent, of course, and your food, and your bills. And then you have to be willing to put your best foot forward and try to keep your house up if you can. It's okay if you can't do it perfectly fine. There are social programs that can help you. It's better to let the persons have their home, live in their home where they're happy. I'm 52 years old, and there's no real reason why I should not be allowed to enjoy the twilight years of my life. I don't know how many I've got. I could be around for, from anywhere from 40 or 30 to 50 years. I could be around a long time. But what is obvious is that, for me, I want to be able to make my own decisions in life. Even if they make mistakes. If I make mistakes, they're my mistakes. Okay? And if I make mistakes, I have to accept those mistakes. They're part of my growing up and being an American citizen. I'm not used to having someone sitting there and hand-holding me and telling me what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to act. That's not the way I was taught. That's not the way my father raised me. My mother tried to, but my mother and I never quite see eye to eye on the entitlement mentality. It's just not something I believe in. And I don't believe in having Obama phones or having free housing or free, programs, free subsidies. I do believe that, there are some reasons we have safety nets. But the reason is, what the Democrats have done lately is they've made the safety nets so vast, so broad, so expansive, and so complicated to understand that the majority of Americans really don't understand why we have food stamps, for example. Why do we have food stamps? Why didn't we just give us people cash assistance for that? Maybe somebody would have been better if they could actually have about cash instead of food stamps. Who knows? In other countries, like I said, in the UK, under the WPA and under the Health and Human Services, they don't have anything like food stamps. Why didn't we create that system? Why didn't we just give people cash assistance to go buy groceries if that's what they want to do? Well, I don't know. But under Andrew Yang's basic income, universal basic income, that's exactly what you would have done. Is you would have had a flat amount of money given to you. We could close all the other programs, trim the government down by about 95% of entitlements, and basically had saved a lot of money at the same time. We could have saved about $4 trillion a month versus expenses versus, I know that's what I was going to say, $4 trillion a month. That's what I'm coming out with. I think it's more like 4 billion. 4 billion. Yeah, 4 billion a month. Okay, 4 billion a month. So total income would be $48 billion a year. Okay, 48 billion a year. Okay. But it's certainly a valid point, though. Yeah, it is. Now, I'm going to ask Michelle some questions because, unlike Patty thinks, I do think about Michelle, and I'm the logical one. So, let's get started. Number one, Michelle, for the first thing is, why are you mad at Patty? Exactly. Please specify and clearly state it. I'm mad at Patty because she was becoming extremely controlling and physically violent towards me, especially after the first month I was there. She really turned, and I could not feel comfortably safe there anymore, and I felt it was time to move on. But she kept insisting that I couldn't go home to my apartment and that the police would have me arrested and all of that reasoning, which may not have actually been based on any truth. Okay. Number two, she went out there to the medical doctor up at the emergency room and made me look like a welfare case to the point where I couldn't even see. Excuse me, I am quite capable of seeing. Okay, my eyesight's not 20/20, it never will be 20/20. Okay, never change. That's why I'm on disability, is my eyesight. So she basically wanted them to make me some kind of a basket case and give up my God-given rights to be a free person because she felt that I was not eligible to be free. Now, by the way, by law, they have to go through a hearing to do that, and I didn't go through any hearing. But what I am equally upset about is that the doctor himself didn't actually come talk to me and interview me about the situation. I felt that the hospital themselves had also not given me full opportunities to discuss my health situation with the doctors, and I felt really, really angry. However, at the time, I was going through a lot of things besides the knee. I was going through a lot of emotional anguish and pain, so probably they thought that it'd be best to let me recover, and I can see it to a point. But sooner or later, you're going to have to let the patient make the decision, especially if they're adult patients. I would have probably had said, well, I think it might make sense to go and stay with somebody for a short term, but I didn't want to stay there long term. But that's not the way it worked. Right. Next thing is, do you think that you're doing better here now in this apartment now versus before the injury, or about the same? I'd say about the same. I think I'm doing okay. I'm trying to keep the house clean. It is a really hard house to clean because there's a lot of stuff in here. And it's a lot of things got messed up pretty bad when Patty came in here like a wrecking ball and started ripping things out of here and didn't even organize them, categorize them, or anything. Just throw them in bags and then threw the bags in her closet. Do you think Patty, because of her storage methods, inadvertently resulted in things getting mislaid? Yes. Okay. How long is it going to take you to replace the things that were mislaid? I think the most expensive thing, and the thing that I really, really sadly I lost, was my the tone arm turntable head shell and stylus cartridge from my turntable. I love music, and unfortunately my turntable is out of commission because now I gotta spend $100 to buy a brand new head shell and cartridge. Okay, so but you're not gonna be able to buy that for a few months, right? Okay, now back to the next thing about the entitlements. Do you see any reason why the government needs to have a safety net? I see a reason to have a safety net, Leon, but I also see a reason that our country needs to also understand that some people would rather not participate in the safety net, either because they believe in making efforts by their own means, or they rather not deal with the government bureaucracy. Okay. In my case, I've dealt enough with the government bureaucracy in the past to tell you that it just basically upsets me when somebody says, don't worry, the government will fix it. And then you watch the news and the government is constantly making a mess of everything. Correct. So the way I feel about it is, if the government is truly going to fix everything, then why isn't the government fixing anything? Why is the government making it worse? Good point. I don't know, but that's a great question. Okay, next thing is, what would you do differently if you were a presidential candidate? Would you consider Andrew Yang's basic income, universal basic income system, or would you have to totally just forgotten all about it? the basic income idea, the universal basic income, which was tried in Finland for 2 years, did not work well in Finland. And Finland's a small country of only about 5 million people. It basically, is it 5 million? Yeah, 5 million. No way. Yeah. Okay. So the point is that they tried it in Finland, and in the end of the program after 2 years, because it wasn't helping. Because when you get basic income, landlords are saying, "Oh, I can charge more for rent because you can afford to pay it." Whereas I believe that Americans when my ancestors would agree with me on this, that we need to be willing to take responsibility for our own selves, provide for our own housing, make sure we have food for our family, find a way. Even if you're handicapped, there are handicapped people that do work. There are handicapped people that are self-employed. Granted, we're all different disabilities. Legally blind people do have it harder because of transportation. And there's a lot of stigma associated with legal blindness. Don't ask me why that is, because I can't give you a clear answer why, but there is. If you're legally blind, you're basically not treated very well at all. So, but if you can at least walk, at least somewhat, where you got a club foot, or maybe you got a hearing loss, but you can still see well, employers might be willing to put you to work somewhere. But if you're legally blind, it becomes much harder for you to become self-sufficient working for somebody else. It's better for you to be self-sufficient on your own, but with the transportation issue, it still always will be there. It makes it harder. Okay. So do you think that the safety net, such as Social Security disability, makes sense for people like you? I say yeah, but the thing is even that is, I don't think we need to have Obama phones. I don't think we need to have free condoms or, definitely free condoms or even free education. But it's true that in the United States, with our educational system, we certainly did educate a large number of people over the many, the 200 and, 230, 1776, yeah, 250 years of this country, 250 years, right? 250 years ago. Can't be. In 1976, we had the bicentennial. Right. Has it really been that long? It's been that long. Okay. I'll say 250 years. I may be wrong, but okay. 250 years. We actually have one from a country that basically says anybody who tries hard and can make it, with the sweat of the brow, don't worry about it. Just come in, free money, free housing, free cars, free bus, free transportation. Oh yeah, don't worry, but your taxes are about 75%, and you're going to basically be working like a slave to put the money into your taxes to pay for all the free shit that you're getting from the government. Oh yeah, same thing with Obama phone, which turned out to be, there was a big controversy regarding that a couple of years ago, how some of the cell phone providers were actually taking advantage of people to sign up for the free Obama phones. One of them was Assured Wireless, and the other one was SafeLink. Now, of the two, it's better to go with, that's a technical I'm not going to go into right now, but just to say is, quality-wise, it's not that much different between either one. The store requirements, entry, you still have to have either food stamps or Social Security disability. And you only get 350 minutes and 3 gigabytes of data. For me, I can go through 3 gigabytes of data in a single week because I upload videos. This video here will use up the 3 gigabytes of data in no time. this video is going to be pretty damn big, and the same thing with all my other videos. So I really think that supporting Obama phone makes no sense at all. Why did we have to create Obama phone in the first place? Oh, because Obama felt that everybody should have a free phone. Remember what he said about executive orders. I have a pen and I have a phone. I have a pen and I have a phone. But he said, well, the poor don't have phones. They can't get food stamps. So let's give them a phone. Why? Okay, that's a great question, but that's an example where entitlement mentality can kind of get a little bit crazy. I pay full price for my phone plan. I'm using my cell phone right now to do this video, and it's why you see the resolution it's in. But I still believe in the fact that Americans, if you really want something, you should be willing to make you work towards achieving your goal. Not get it for free. Subsidized housing? I don't really think subsidized housing makes any more sense than Obama phone. How many people in subsidized housing are doing everything with total disrespect to the landlord, such as smoking crack and marijuana, destroying the place, and basically saying is, hey, it's free or it's low cost, so I don't care if I destroy his walls or put my crack pipe on his sinks or in his countertops. I don't fucking care if it's loaded with cockroaches and all that, because I'm getting it for free. That's just some of the people that do that, though. Yeah, but still, you're right. Whereas with Michelle, she pays full rent, so she actually is a lot more concerned about what she needs to do because she has to work hard to financially keep this apartment up. It may not seem like much, but it's still her home. It's my home. The other thing is, too, is, as I said, there's a lot of mentality regarding the blind. I'm legally blind. I really wish people had understood this. There's a lot of new technology now that makes it possible for the blind and legally blind to do a lot of things. For example, we can get, I can get a guide dog if I chose to get one. I don't really want a guide dog. I can get a cane. I can get mobility training, which I already had in the past. I can get, as necessary, magnifiers for large print so I can read books. I can get shopping services from the Board of Education Services of the Blind. That's what this agency in Connecticut was created for. Yet this doctor didn't seem to even think I was involved with this agency. I've been registered with this agency since 1973 when I was determined to be legally blind. Okay? And I've been doing things on my own ever since, all my life. I've always been a go-getter, a doer, and a person that makes things happen. That's just me. Right, it's Michelle. She likes to be free spirit, free thinker. Actually, absolutely true. Yes. So, what would you say to people who originally accused you on your channel, saying you were looking for entitlement mentality, and are now mad at you that you refuse to accept entitlement mentality? I think that what I learned from the original entitlement mentality videos is if you gotta ask for help, you better have a good reason to do it, first of all. Second of all, nothing's free, so anything you ask for is going to be paid for by some means. Okay, that's just a fact of life. Also, if you are receiving entitlements, don't complain if you get the shittiest entitlements in the world. It's just the way it is. Right. Now, one of the reasons when Donald Trump became president, I decided that, yeah, since he is my president, and I'm going to stand behind my president. I believe that each individual needs to basically achieve for their own success. Sure, free entitlements may sound nice, but the sad truth is, if you're going to take away my freedoms and my rights as an American citizen to have those free things, I'm sorry to say I'm not interested in that. I am a person that truly believes in being able to be successful. Right. So, do you think that um, things will change in the future for you? I think, Loom, honestly, I think the future will change because I truly believe in what I do. I believe in the world around me. I believe in the efforts. Um, that I'm going to be successful doing something in my life. But I'm going to have to find my own way of achieving success. And it's got to be something that I signed off on. It's got to be something I believe in. Not allowing some organization, some faceless government agency, or whatever to determine my fate. I prefer, as I said, to live free than die in captivity. Keep in mind the state of New Hampshire state motto: live free or die. That's my motto. Live free or die. Okay, yeah, you can live free and still die, but remember something that Ben Franklin says: one who gives up freedom for security will have neither one. Meaning, you can give up your security. I mean, your freedom for your security. You might say, "Oh, that's a better deal. Now I have a guaranteed place to sleep and all this," but may find out that you have neither a place to sleep nor the freedom to move around. And so you have to keep in mind that every single person is an American, God-blooded, God-gifted, red-blooded American, regardless if you're Republican, Democrat, Green Party, whatever, that truly believes in trying to make it on your own. And sometimes you're going to fuck up. That's why we do have safety nets. But the safety nets are not meant to provide forever. There's a time when the safety nets are going to say, okay, you've used our services, now you need to go on and try again. And people do fail. People fail in business every day. People fail in life every day. And that's true. But as long as the person is willing to make an effort to try to make their lives better to the best of their ability, then we should not be chastising them because sometimes they fail and they need a little help. That's fine, but not to give away free help just as every Tom, Dick, and Harry that just happens to walk into some government agency and says, "Hi, I need this money because I gotta pay for whatever, okay, a car repair." That's gonna be where, okay, that's fine, we'll give you the money to fix the car, but with the extension that now, next time, you will help somebody else in turn. That's what the churches teach, is that we, can help our brothers and sisters in the religious organizations, and that's where the churches come in. But lately, especially under Obama, and to some extent also under Trump, but mostly under Obama, churches have been struggling because of their tax-exempt status that was being questioned. Of course, Donald Trump did realize that, yes, the 501c3s are being questioned, especially in some cases, but he still believes that the community, the local community, should be the ones that are being willing to provide assistance for short-term needs, not long-term or for life situations. And I know that sounds stupid and twisted. I tried really hard to try to explain my thoughts. It's not easy. No, it's not. Because the point is, like Michelle said, she was raised in a household of two different mentalities. So she got mixed up in the two. Yeah, okay. But I think it's important to understand that Michelle is a free spirit. Michelle will continue to be a free spirit. Michelle truly loves what she does. Michelle truly believes in herself and her abilities. Okay, so she's not perfect, but you know what? Damn it, at least she tries. Sometimes she needs help, and that's where, again, like you said, the community comes in. The local community of volunteers, her friends, can help her out to achieve some of the things. We have a lot to do in the suburban still. And yet, Michele is not saying is to the government, hey, give me a Mary maid that can come in and vacuum my floor every day. Or give me some kind of a special program that's going to make sure that my hair is washed every day, or my hair is retouched every month. Michele never asked that kind of stuff. Yet that's what so many entitlements are doing. People are expecting everything to be for free, and nothing in America ever was truly free. Only under FDR did we start seeing the free mentality come in, of free benefits, free programs. But he created, under the Workers' Pension Administration, the WPA, in the United States, was he created a system where people could have jobs and could go back to work. And they did during the Depression. That later on extended on into the Social Security disability. We all know under Johnson administration, we all extended on the entitlements, just kept going and going and going and going and going. But Michele saying is the most important thing to her, and she will protect for her dear life, is her freedom. Even if it's freedom to make mistakes, freedom to fail. That's what Michele does. Michele wants the right to be able to have the freedom to make decisions, even if they're not always the best ones. But those are the God-given rights, the right to think your decisions through. I don't know how much this is going to help explain Michele's mentality, but if you guys would like to ask more detailed questions, you certainly are welcome to do so. Because we have to get, well, we already dressed. We're going to go to Soup Kitchen today, and we're going to, also, I help volunteer at the Soup Kitchen as best I can. Let's not forget also that I have a doctor's appointment. It actually is at 1:15. I'm going to go take the paratransit van to the doctor's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to get my lab results back. I got to talk to Dr. Lemmy also about getting me back my levothyroxine, which unfortunately we can't find the pills. Patty lost the pills. Nobody knows where they are. So all my medications are gone. So I have to go ahead and ask him to reissue script, in particular for the thyroid hormone, the levothyroxine. And so that's important. So the point is, guys, that's pretty much in a nutshell, and I hope it helps answer something from last night. I kind of got a feeling I probably did not really do as well as I'd like, but at least we tried in a more calm way. I also do agree with Ed that, yeah, there is times when you do have to basically agree it's not worth going outside in the rain and the icy weather if you can avoid going shopping in that kind of crappy weather. Or, yes, you can take the senior center van and go to the grocery store on Thursdays, which is also true. But right now, we got to get your food stamps back. You got to get the food stamps back. That's imperative. Right. All right, guys. That's it for now. Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.